I just finished watching Avatar again for like the 5th time. And looking back over it after having watched it for so long or not having watched it in so long, I realized there's a lot of things I didn't notice before. These might be things that you didn't notice too, or other people just didn't process until after they watched the movie or watched it the second time. Or not. Maybe because I'm dumb. Jake actually looks better with longer hair. The Na'vi don't have nipples, or at least they shouldn't. I mean, they take care to make sure she hides her tits. Do they have Na'vi milk? From what I heard, Na'vi weren't supposed to have mammary glands like normal mammals on Earth, but obviously they're there for aesthetic purposes and so we can relate better. But if they do produce Na'vi milk, what color is it? I mean, who the hell knows what the shit they're eating in those frickin' fruits on that planet, since most of the air consists of xenon. The ship that they're in looks like a whole bunch of tennis balls or baseballs all mashed together in a net. It's not really important, I know, it's just an observation. Everyone's wearing masks. I didn't realize this the first time around, I didn't process it. Everyone is wearing masks. I mean, everyone except Jake, of course. Which means that the air isn't exactly very breathable, or they themselves could be suffering through a pandemic as well, because look at the overcrowding. And I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. Who the hell is that? Is that freaking Mike Myers from Halloween or his sister? What the hell kind of mask is she wearing? I swear, like, she's the only one wearing that kind of mask. Like, I don't even think that's helping her. Freaking Phantom of the Opera over here. This is set in the 22nd century, and the Bengal tiger had been extinct for over 100 years. Also, take a look at the living space that Jake is in. He is literally living in a Lego box. Like, that's how overcrowded everything is. Everything is in the same room with him. His toilet, his bed, his kitchen, his laundry. See, that's where he does his laundry. That's where he takes a mean shit and then has to smell it for the rest of the day because he's like 5 feet away. Not even. Maybe like 3 feet. Over here is the stove, I guess. Maybe we got some desk space going on back here. Don't know what the hell's going on with this. Dude. I mean, at least he's got a big screen, but notice it's not even a TV, it's just a projector. And unfortunately, because of overpopulation, it's possible that most people live like this. It's horrid. And look to his left, there's like a big ass pipe running through the entire or maybe this is just one room and we're just looking at one room. I don't think so, because everything that you need to live is in this one room. So yeah, I think this is it. It seems as though everyone just gets incinerated now because there's probably no more space to bury anyone. So yeah, no more funerals, which honestly would be great for me because I hate funerals, and if there was like a reason not to go to them, this would be awesome. Seriously, when I die, incinerate my ass. Whether I'm an ash floating in the wind over every country in the freaking world or a rotting corpse, it really doesn't matter because I'm no longer in my body. I feel like people can celebrate my life even without my body even being there. Or celebrate my death, who knows? I didn't process that he was in cryosleep. I don't know why. They say it multiple times. I just didn't process. They even said, like, oh, you were in cryosleep, yada yada. And obviously, they would be in cryosleep because the planet that they're going to is many light years away. Also, in a matter of, about 120 to 50 years, I didn't even do the calculation, but about 100, so almost 200 years in the future, we had the technology to move 80% the speed of light. I feel like those calculations are wrong. But the fact is, it takes about 4.3 years to get to this Alpha Centauri area from our Earth. Yet it takes them 6 years to get there. You guys who are the math buffs, you do the math. And basically, this gas giant, Polyphemus, which is the parent planet to the moon, Pandora, is basically another rendition of Jupiter, because even though it's many light years away, it took them about 6 years to get there, and it has a big storm ice spot in it. It's also a gas giant. Our gas giant has a big old storm ice spot in it as well. Looks very similar, except it's a little smaller than Jupiter and different color, but it also takes 6 years to get to it from Earth. I know, it's weird, because it takes light years, but in our thing it actually takes 6 years. So this is another rendition of Jupiter, but just in the Alpha Centauri area. People are also going on rotations back to Earth, which makes a lot of sense. So, it takes them around 6 years to get to the 5th moon of this gas giant. The doppelganger giant that has a planet circling it, but it's called a moon because moons are satellites and things that orbit big old things that are already planets. And you have another planet. Can you have another planet going around another planet? It's just, you never think of moons harboring life. But then if they do harbor life, are they considered planets? No, because planets have to be a certain size to be considered a planet in the first place. But if it's just the size of Pandora and it's not orbiting anything, is it then a planet? Can something be a planet and a moon at the same time? Can a planet orbit another planet? Or does it de facto become a moon and is no longer a planet? What if the bigger planet is the one responsible for creating the orbit, but it doesn't harbor life, but the smaller moon planet does? Of course, the smaller one orbiting it is a satellite, so of course it's a moon, but can it still be considered a planet? I know I just asked the same question like 6 different ways.
Let me wait for you.
Well, ladies. Look at all this fresh meat.
These guys saying, look at all this fresh meat, look so heavily and terribly CGI'd compared to the rest of the movie.
I don't even know your name.
The fuck?
It is also mentioned that the Na'vi are very hard to kill. Aside from being way larger than humans, they're also more powerful and have carbon fiber bones. Also, I see what you did, James Cameron, taking the freaking dinosaur sound effects from Jurassic Park and putting it in this movie. The horses, or the horse renditions of the aliens in this movie, sound identical to the velociraptors from Jurassic Park, while the Thanator sounds just like the T-Rex. The Avatars are human DNA mixed with Na'vi DNA. So that's why you'll notice that Jake Sully has normal human eyebrows and 5 fingers, while Neytiri and her kind don't have hairy eyebrows. They basically just have what's akin to stripes over their eye ridges. See, eyebrows, no eyebrows. Another thing I didn't process is that obviously they grow the avatar bodies for the humans in test tubes or what have you. And of course, they had to have been on the flight or the, is that what you call it? Flight or float? Whatever. They had to have been on the journey with them to Pandora because it said that it took a while for them to mature. One guy said they matured on the flight out. And we know that the journey from Earth to Pandora takes 6 years. So whether it was 6 years back one way or 6 years towards Pandora, and the only thing that would make sense is from Earth to Pandora, the avatar bodies grew to full term or grew into adulthood. It's possible then that they might mature a lot faster than normal humans because of the human DNA, or the Na'vi actually mature a lot faster than we do. Another thing I didn't process is that Jake Sully's brother trained for his PhD for 3 years, specifically for this mission. I find it also a bit silly that, you know, just because he's the twin brother, that he's allowed to go on the mission even though he has no training whatsoever and he can jeopardize the entire thing, but whatever. He's a soldier, so he's basically trained to follow orders, right? It's been said that Na'vi are actually puss people. Another thing I also processed a long time after I saw the movie for the first time is that the Na'vi look completely different than everything else on the planet. Just like we look out of place with everything else on our planet, and everything can kill us surprisingly easy, it seems, they also look out of place. Mainly because they only have 4 limbs instead of 6 and 2 eyes instead of 4. We did a video on the evolution process as a theory as to how the Na'vi look different from the creatures of Pandora. There's another theory that the Na'vi might not even be native to Pandora. That's something I definitely want to explore in a later video. Sorry, I know it was a weird ass noise.
I'm sorry, man. That was a weird ass sneeze I just did right there.
Colonel Quarquar could have gotten his scars fixed, but he chose to keep them. And I know we have medical advancements now that can make us basically look like normal now, but I think the reason that they mentioned it in the movie is because apparently medicine is far more advanced, or corrective surgery or what have you is far more advanced then than it is now. I mean, it is almost like 2 centuries later. The reason why Jake still had his legs in the condition he did is because there's a lot of people who are poor, and I guess only people in places of power or high standing, like the Colonel who's on this mission, get special treatment or they're paid enough money to be able to get that done. Also, I didn't even remember that Neytiri had a sister that had been killed when the soldiers came and shot up the school. It was so sad, and it's one of the reasons why the Na'vi no longer trusted the humans. This movie was so awesome, and just going back over and looking at things I never noticed before made me fall in love with it all over again. We're gonna be covering a lot more videos on Avatar 2 and the sequels. There's a lot of people who don't believe that Avatar should be made a sequel or should be made into a sequel. There are people who believe that it should just stop at the first movie. No matter how you guys feel, leave your comments below, and thanks so much for watching. This has been Altiori. You ask, we answer.